Hello everyone, so in this tutorial I'm going to be talking about lists in Python. So we have discussed about lists before, but this will be actually a more advanced thing. We'll be discussing more things that we can do with lists in Python, more methods and things like that. So let's actually declare a list here. We declare list by actually saying my list or whatever you want to call it, and we open square braces here, and we can say maybe we can declare a list of items here. So maybe some fruits here, so I'll say apple, mango, banana, and so on. So yeah, I have three items here. So let me show you some of the basic methods first. So if you just want to get the length of this list or number of items inside this list, you can print my list or length, len. This is actually a function in Python for actually getting the length of something. So we say length of my list, and if I just run this program, we get 3, so which means we have 3 items inside this list. So this is actually for checking the length of the list. We can actually add an item to a list, to this list, by saying my list dot append and maybe lemon. Let me just see, and if I just print this my list here and I run this program, you can see that lemon has been added to this list. So yeah, this has actually been added to the last index. So say we want to add it to a particular position. So say if I just want to add it to the first position, so for such cases we have an insert method, insert, and we have to say the index. We have to specify the index at which we want to actually add it. So I'll say 0th index, which is the first place in this case, and I'll say lemon, L-E-M. And if I just run this program, you can see that lemon has been added to the beginning. So now we can actually add it to wherever we want. So this is the main adding methods we have. We can delete an item inside a list using multiple ways. We have the pop method. So if I just say pop and run this program, you can see that the last item has been removed. So pop method actually removes the last element of the list. So we have a remove method. So if you want to specifically remove an item, so I'll say remove apple, and if I run this program, you can see that apple has been removed. So in this way you can actually remove a specific item. So we also have the clear method. So if I just run this program, everything will be cleared and we are returned with an empty list. So clear method clears out everything. So yeah, so now let's look at some other methods. We have the reverse method. This will actually reverse the list. So now it begins with apple. If I just run the program, you can see that the list has been reversed and the reverse order has been printed out here. So next we have the sort method. So actually I'll just modify this list. I'll just remove all the items inside and I'll just change it with some numbers. So I'll say -1 or maybe 1, 5, 3, and maybe -1 and maybe 10, maybe 6. So yeah, I 6. So you can see that we have actually a shuffled list with random numbers inside. So if I just want to arrange this in some kind of order, so say I want to arrange this in ascending order, I'll say sort, and if I just run this, you can see that this has been ordered in the ascending order. Now we have the small elements at the beginning and the larger elements after that. So we can also modify an item inside a list. We can actually say we can actually replace the first item with a new item. So for modifying such items inside a list, we say my list, and we specify the index of the element that we actually want to modify. So in this case I'll be replacing 1, so it is at index 0. So I'll say my list of 0 is equal to, it has been modified to maybe 9. We just need 1 equal here. So if I just run this program, you can see that this thing has been modified and now 9 is actually in its place. So we can actually modify an item inside a list by using such methods. So now we are going to take a look at some of the list slicing methods. So slicing is actually a way to actually obtain specific parts or subparts of a list. So say for example, I want all the elements starting from here to this -1. So from the starting index 0, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it should start at 0 index and end at the third index. Let's say print my list of, okay, we should start at the 0th index and we should end at the third index. So in this case the third index will not be printed. Okay, so if I actually want to print the third index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, if I just want this -1 to be printed, I'll have to say 4 here, or else this will not be printed. So the last index will be excluded. So now we can see that 0, 1, 2, 3 elements from the 0th index to the third index has been element from the 0th index to the third index has been printed out. So we also have a step index. So if I just add another colon, this is actually the step, we have to specify the step index here. So if I say 1 and if I just run this program, you can see that everything has been printed here. So what is happening here is starting from 0, every element will be printed. So yeah, if I just print this out, you can see all the elements have been printed here. So this will actually start from the beginning to the end, and all the elements with step 1 will be printed. So if I just replace this with 2 and run the program, you can see that every second element will be printed. So this and this has been printed. So these 3 items have been printed. So all these 3 items have been printed. So if I just start from here, and then it will actually avoid the second element, and then it will actually take the third element here, and then it will avoid this one and take this one. So yeah, so if I just print my list and I say -1, so this is actually here it is defaulting to 1 here. So if I just say -1 here and if I run the program, you can see that all the elements have been printed in the reverse order. So this is actually a nice way to reverse and list, and it's quite useful. So now let's see how to copy a list actually. So there are a lot of ways to copy a list. So let's declare a new list here called my list, and let's set it to our fruits list again. So I'll say apple, mango, and banana. Yep, that should be enough. So yeah, we have a list with 3 items here. So let's say we just want to make a copy of this list. So we can do that by saying my list is equal to, or we can say that by saying copy list. So copy list is equal to my list. So this will actually create a copy of the original list. So if I just print out the copy list, you can see that the same item has been printed, or the same list has been printed here. But the problem is, if we just modify that copy list, say for example I say copy list of 0, So I say copy list of 0 is equal to lemon, and I print the copy list and the original list called my list. And if I run the program, you can see that both of them have been modified. So if I just make a change to a copy list, our original list has also been modified. This is actually not really good, because we want to copy a list and we may need to experiment different things in it so that it doesn't really affect our original list. So this isn't really good. So we have to make a real copy of the list. We can say maybe my list dot copy, and we can just set this to copy list. We can say copy list is equal to my list dot copy. So now if I just run the program, you can see that it's the same thing. Now let me try to modify our copy list. So I'll say copy list of 0 is equal to lemon. Yep. And if I just run the program, you can see that our original list is still original. I mean, it has not been modified, only our copy list has been modified. So this is a really useful method for copying lists without actually modifying our original list. So one final thing I would like to tell you is about list comprehension. So it's actually a nice way to create a new list from an existing list. So say I have a list of numbers just like before, my list with a list of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe, and let's just remove this. So yeah, so I can say for I times I in, so we'll actually say new list is equal to, okay, we'll say inside a square braces I multiplied by I for I in my list, and we'll just print my list, and we'll also print the new list. And if I just run the program, you can see that the second list is actually a square of the first list. So it's actually the square. So 2 for the square is 4, 3 square is 9, and here it need not be I, it can actually be anything. You can actually change it to maybe A if you want, and change it there as well. And if you do that, that's also fine. It's just a variable. Yeah, now we actually have multiplied the numbers in that list with 2. This is how we do with list comprehension.